Yes, people, welcome back to another YouTube video. So we are in a beautiful Bali with my bro Sanel. Sanel is one of my best friends here in Bali. We just connected a couple months here ago. And yeah, we had many like beach walks where we just go for a walks and yeah, talk about life, talk about relationships, visualization, manifestation, about goals. And I truly believe Sanel is one of most successful people in my life, and he has incredible story in his life, and what has he achieved. So today's topic is more about how to achieve your goals, how to visualize, and how actually has helped in Sanel's life. So first, maybe Sanel, can you introduce yourself, who you are, how you done, and don't gatekeep.
Yeah. Oh, it's always when you're gonna talk about yourself, what you're gonna say. But yeah, I guess the short version is I dropped out of college when I was 19. I didn't believe in the system. I was studying marketing, and I could see that it wasn't working because I was already starting to try starting my business, and I tried to apply what I was learning in college, and I just realized pretty quickly that I'm studying marketing. I'm trying to market my startup and it's not working. And then I started asking the teachers obstacles I was having, and they looked at me like I was an UFO, like broke the matrix a bit, And then I was like, okay, I need to quit this. It isn't going anywhere. So yeah, I was 19, quit first year of college, and then I pursued my own business, did e-commerce. I'm not gonna bore you with too much details, but me and my roommate in college, we sold for like 100,000 euros the first month, profitable, and then that became a 4-5 year long venture where I was traveling the world and making business, learning the ropes of being a businessman, very early in e-commerce, digital marketing, influencer marketing. And then did my first exit when I was 24. Then I got headhunted into an upcoming unicorn company. So I got there when we were like 10 employees making 10 million euro a year. Fast forward 4 years, my team was 40 people. We were doing 150 million euro a year with 40 million euro profit. We're spending like 20 to 30 million euro on ads, 2 million monthly. So yeah, helped take that business to do an IPO as well on the Stockholm exchange. And that was like 2.5 years ago. And then I did the exit from the IPO. And since then I've just been taking it a little bit slower. I'm joking a bit, I retired already when I was 28. So I had all the success I wished for already at 28, and just taking it a bit slower, thinking about my next move. And yeah, got to Bali last winter, met Oscar. So yeah, is that a good?
It's a good intro. Yeah.
Good intro, yeah.
So yeah, retiring at 28 doesn't sound bad at all, bro. Maybe for people, like, what was the first e-commerce brand? Was it about like the CSGO skins, right?
Yeah. So first e-commerce brand was, we were playing a video game, and in that game you could trade cosmetics, skins, cosmetics in the game, like a virtual currency, and it became a pretty big thing, this skin market. And then we thought, oh, maybe people want to have it at their homes, So we found a supplier, went to Alibaba, searched for like Karambit, M9 bayonet, found a supplier, bought the first batch. And the fun story with that is that we actually, to have the money to make the first order of 1,000 knives, I think it was like 3,000 or 4,000 euros, which was money we didn't have, So we contacted some resellers, online resellers, and asked them, hey, you're selling gaming equipment, do you maybe want to sell this gaming replica of knives that's very popular from games? And we actually got one that said, okay, I'll buy 500. And that was like, for the price that he bought it from us, would be enough money for us to buy the 1,000 knives and some profit as well. So we order 1,000 knives with money we didn't have, you know, in a sense, and then 1,000 knives got to our door, right, in Sweden. And for him to sell it, because he was a reseller, he needed to have official like boxes with EAN codes. And for some reason the Chinese supplier couldn't provide that, so we got the boxes from Sweden. So we were sitting in our home in Sweden with 1,000 knives and 1,000 boxes that came flat, you know. So you had to like fold them. It was like per box was like a 2 or 3 minute process if you were fast. So we ended up folding all the 1,000 boxes, taking every knife separately, cleaning it, making sure it was okay. The only thing was that now we noticed that our supplier had fucked us. Because we had bought 10 knives the first time to just see the quality, right? Quality was super pristine, right?
For the first 10.
Was amazing, you know. Now, the 1,000 ones, and I'll tell you what happened later, but the 1,000 knives we had, when we went through them knife by knife, we started seeing that shit, they're like the quality is so shit. Scratches, nagged, like really shit. And we were sorting them into like 3 different piles. One was like, okay, they're good. These ones maybe, these ones absolutely not. After we went through 1,000 knives, I'm not joking, maybe 100 were in the good pile, maybe 100 was in the okay pile, 800 was like, we can't sell this. And we're sitting there like, we had spent like 2 days folding boxes, and then the knives came, we were super excited, and we were so like struck down. We had bought this money with money we didn't have. We were already in debt. Our first customer that was gonna buy the knives from us, we were like, bro, what are we gonna do? We can't like sell this. And we're sitting there thinking like, shit, maybe we put 2 knives in one box, maybe it will make up for them being bad. And then we just kind of had to take a leap of faith, you know. And we're like, well, if we don't pull through with this, we're gonna be fucked either way. So we just took every knife, put it into a box, and we're like, please, please, please. Sent it to him. He sold it like that. No one complained. So that, I guess, was our first business struggle. And I think there's a lesson from that, which is these days pretty well known, already spoken about, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. And this was like almost a too good example. Like, of course, your product can't be defect, right? But even in a situation where it almost is defect, it can work if you have the right product and the right execution. So yeah, that was the start with the knives, and we were selling knives and different replicas from these games for 4.5 years, making like 1.5, 2 million euros a year, pretty profitable. Me and my business partner learning all the ropes of business and e-commerce. Another fun story was that there was all these gaming conventions around the world. Maybe some of you have heard about DreamHack and Gamescom, Comic-Con. We got this idea that our product is so cool, you know. It doesn't make it justice to sell online, because as soon as someone sees it, they're like amazed by it. So we booked our first gaming convention in London, or was like a Comic-Con. Cost us like 2,000 or 3,000 pounds. I was 20 years old at the time. Packed a bag, checked-in bag full of knives, went to London, started selling there, and in a weekend I made like 30,000 pounds in my pocket. So that was a cool baller feeling, flying home from London with 30k in your bag, you know. Ended up doing this for many years. So just traveled and selling these knives. So yeah, that was the start.
That's awesome, man. Maybe so that was like kind of first business. And maybe fast, you can explain what was like the second, the brand you worked for, and that you helped like to scale to 140 million a year.
So the second brand is an outdoor apparel company called Revolution Race. Like I mentioned earlier, we went from basically a garage, a startup, to making an IPO on the Stockholm Nasdaq exchange within 5 years. We got a unicorn valuation, which is
it's one of the hardest things to do for companies, right?
Yeah. So the unicorn valuation, $1 billion on the IPO day. So yeah, that was a crazy journey. We became one of the biggest spenders on Meta during those years, not only in Sweden or Northern Europe, but in the whole Europe. We're one of the highest spenders. We got invited to their head office in San Francisco. We were given a special team with like their best lead programmers and ad people to teach us. So yeah, that was super hectic, and it was founder-led, the company. So the founders, then a couple 40 years old, they started the business together, and they were with the business until the IPO. So I was working very closely to the founders for these 5 years, and working with founders that go from a garage to becoming billionaires is a story of its own, you know.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. So yeah, that's the Sanel experience. He's only 30 years old, but feels like he has lived a couple lives, and the stories you have shared me since we connected is like incredible, you know. But yeah, so maybe you can tell us like how manifestation has helped in your life, you know. Maybe you remember some early memories, you know, your vision, and how did it exactly help you like to get you where you are right now in the life?
Yeah. So I think manifestation today has almost become like a buzzword, right? You can be, I told Oscar before, you could be going to kindergarten today and you open up your phone, you're gonna hear manifestation here, manifestation there. When I was a kid, there was no such sources of information. So I guess I was just a bit lucky in my life that I found manifestation and that I stuck to it, because yeah, there was not any information sources really. But now in hindsight, being 30 years old, I can really relate to manifestation, and I can backtrack it to not only myself, but to people around me, people I went to school with, people I did sports with, when I was like 10, 12, 15, 20, and now I'm 30. I can really see the people that were holding on to manifestation, visualizing certain things. They all ended up at a really cool spot in life. And then some people that had the best like potential, super good physique, super charismatic, whatever thing you might have that can help you in life, right? They didn't go far or anywhere in life, because maybe they'd never found manifestation, or maybe they were just comfortable with what they had already. But yeah, some examples of manifestations. I have a funny memory. When I was like 15, I was watching a music video, and in this music video I see a super cool car, you know, and I had that moment that I think every guy has at some point in their life, where I was like, oh shit, you can have a car like this, and I really got sucked into the music video.
Which music video did you remember?
I remember exactly which one it was. It was Danza Kuduro, you know? And in this one he's driving a BMW Z4, I think. Not even that expensive, but it was like cool for me being a 15-year-old. And then I like started thinking about, yeah, I really want this car, but how can I actually get it? So being 15 years old, I searched online for that car, checked up the price. I saw the price was like $100-something thousand. Then I think this is where the real power of manifestation started. Not that I saw the car and that I wanted it, because this is like dreaming, and dreaming is not manifestation. So, but what the manifestation part came in was that when I saw this number, my brain started working, putting it into reality. So I wrote the number down. I started calculating, okay, if I become a lawyer, a doctor, I started looking up online the different salaries. Remember, I was 15, you don't know all these things, right? So I saw like, oh, a doctor makes this much, a lawyer makes that much, and I started calculating everything. And I was like, damn, shit, even if you're a lawyer, in Sweden, which is a pretty well-paid country, you earn like 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 euros a month. And I was like, yeah, after taxes, after your cost of living, you're not gonna have almost any money left. So already at 15, I started to like understand that there was something wrong with the system, you know? And I think this is the magic of manifestation. Not that you want something, but that you actually put it into action, that you demand something out of yourself. I demanded to know more. I had to look up the number. I had to write it down. I had to look further what this number meant. How can you earn this much money? And then in the end of that manifestation phase, I was like, okay, I have to do some sort of business. And I would have never gotten there if I was just, oh, but I'm manifesting it. Oh, I saw this car, I want it. Because it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
I always say the universe doesn't give you what you want, it gives you what you are. And it's gonna give you that car if you're successful. So you're gonna have to start being successful, right? And you're not gonna be successful by dreaming, you have to put in the work.
Exactly. Yeah, I think many people like just think visualization is like just looking at something, you know, having these pictures or dreaming, but they also then they don't believe in themselves actually achieving that. So like also good like reminder is always like, I think also most people they say they can't, nah, this is not for me. But I think usually better questions ask like how, you know, and exactly in your case, like you were 15 years old, you're like how this is possible, right? You do your research, you like actually write down the numbers, you know, well, what exactly you need to do, what makes sense, you know, finding the ways on how to actually like get those things. And so maybe like you can give advice to these people who are actually in this like kind of state that they don't maybe believe, or they have this negative mindset, you know, they're kind of stuck in a matrix. So like, do you have any advice for those people?
Yeah, just do it. I came from a super poor background. No one in my family went to school. I grew up in a ghetto, actually one of the most dangerous ghettos in Sweden, and actually developed into one of the most dangerous ghettos in the world. Was not super good in school, had nothing going for me, you know. But then I got into this path to believe in myself, believe in the process, taking step by step, and I achieved everything I wanted. And that 15-year-old kid that wanted that car, how old was I when I bought my R8? 25?
R8, guys.
So I mean, it sounds cliche, but it's all about believing in yourself and doing it. And that's why I think there's always some people that makes it, no matter being guided or having mentors. And it's because they're just not wired in that way, you know. They just believe in themselves ruthlessly, you know. And if you do that, you're gonna end up going somewhere. That's what I've seen time and time again. You have to believe in yourself and believe in going your own way, you know. Then that's the cliche, right? Then what's the practical part about it? I always say if you keep developing, that's a good indicator you're in the right path. One of our first customers, Max Gaming, Max FPS, super good and realistic story, what it takes to become successful. Today he's like 40 years old. His business is doing 40 to 50 million euros a year and doing good profits. One of the bigger businesses in his niche in Sweden. When I started doing business with him, when he started buying my knives, he almost discouraged me because I was 20 years old and I was hungry, wanting it fast, right? He had his business for 10 years and he was only doing 1 million euro a year. And I was like looking at in Sweden you have a website where you can get the full company yearly reports, right? And I was looking at those yearly reports and I thought, fuck, he's been into this for 10 years. He's only doing 1 million euro a year and it wasn't that profitable. Then he doubled every year for 5 years. So you could look at his case, those, let's say for 9 years, and you could say, man, it's not going anywhere, it's a waste of time. But if you ask him now, he said, I was learning so much every year. So I got the money pretty fast, but I always say don't be too fast with the money. If you become rich when you're 25, it's super cool. If you become rich when you're 35, it's also super maybe even cooler, you know? Yeah. So there's no right time, but as long as you're learning and you get to plateaus sometimes, you know, maybe you don't need to learn every day or every week. But I say when you've reached some plateaus, maybe in 3 months or 6 months intervals, make sure that you're always learning something. Make sure that you're on top of the game. Then you're gonna be going somewhere. So what can you say? Like, choose a field. Try to learn as much as possible. Try to become an expert in that field. Make sure you're learning as much as possible from all kinds of sources, and execute. I guess that's the bottom line of it. And then how you do it, if you find a mentor, if you buy a course, they say there many roads leads to Rome, right? And that's true. I didn't buy a course, I didn't have a mentor, I went my own way. Now in hindsight, would a mentor or a course have helped? Would have helped a lot. So of course, if you can get help, if you can get some guidance, amazing. We can also do it alone. Maybe we'll just take more blood, sweat and tears.
Yeah, nice, man. Love to hear that. I think lots of people don't have patience nowadays, especially with all the social media and fast dopamine. You know, everyone wants it now. And I remember when I started my coaching business as well, first year. You know, I looked at my results on like kind of weekly basis or like monthly basis. You know, like, okay, this month I do this. You know, now I don't even like do that. I'm like 6 months or 1 year time frames, you know, and really also allowing myself to take time and looking at the season I am in, you know, and I have learned so much how to be patient. And I think also, like, you know, some people, yeah, they will achieve it way faster, they will achieve it way later, but like, you don't need to compare yourself with others, you know. You are your toughest opponent, and as long as you like improve, I don't know, you don't need to improve daily, you know, but if you improve yearly, as you said, like, you're just gonna win, you know. And as long as you be consistent, patient, like, just good things gonna happen to you.
For sure.
And yeah, well, what's next? What's next for you, Sanel?
Yeah, so I finally coming out of retirement.
MJ retirement, like
coming back to the last dance. Believe it or not, it gets boring after a while. But it took a while. It didn't go fast. But after 2.5, 3 years of just being in a constant holiday, it got a little bit boring. You start to miss the hustle. So now I have 5 apps currently being developed. I'm gonna release the coming week. One is gonna be like a therapist for women online. One is gonna be relationship advice. One is gonna be a spirituality app, and that combines all the different branches and niches of spirituality, like tarot reading, numerology, astrology. All of them are gonna be based towards women. And then I have the last one. It's gonna be called Iron Mind, which is gonna be like a stoic AI chat for men. So yeah, that's being pushed right now, and that's my full focus. And I really love the app space right now, because you can develop it so fast today with the tools available with AI. So you have the finished product ready, which previously took a big team and a lot of money, but now you can skip that entire process and just do the fun part, the marketing and the branding. So yeah, that's my next venture.
That's awesome, man. So also I think you can see, like, you kind of being in different like fields, you know, you are able to adjust, and I think that's also important to know for people. Like, you don't need to be stuck in one box, you know, and you do one thing all of your life. I think there are like seasons. You started with e-commerce, right? Helped that scale, then you went to actual brand, and now you kind of again moving in a different field with apps and being a learner. Right, even at 30 years old, you can be also at 30 years old and just, I did this, you know, stick to that field, but you like put yourself in a new environment, maybe take off your ego, actually learn, you know, and also, like, of course, be expert in your fields, but also learn in different fields. And that again is a learning process, right? What you said, you're learning. And
then like, you have so many niches and different fields in the world of making money and business, but it all boils down to a few key skills, right? People skills, sales, marketing. It's not that many fields that you can specialize in the end, you know. So if you learn these core skills, you're going to be able to do most of the things in all these different fields. Then it's of course just a top layer of information in that specific field, but if you learn these cores, you're going to be able to do most things in life.
You mean like core, like sales, marketing?
It's applicable to everything.
Yeah. So every business you go, definitely. I think also for me, from coaching experience, I think I could just go in a different field and I already would be pretty good at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe any last advice to people who would like to get in your position?
I think because I got successful at such an early age, I had so many people asking me throughout all my years when I was 19, 20, 22, 25, 26, all these years, right? I want to be like you, I want to be successful. And of course, I always love when someone really wants it. But what I've come to learn is that it's not for everyone. I think everyone can improve and have a better life, 100%. But if you really want it, you need to commit. And you need to really understand why you're committing. So if you don't already have that answer, get to know yourself a little bit, you know. Get to know why do you want it, what's important for you. These can all be your first building blocks of manifesting, you know. It's easier to manifest if you really know what you want. So find out what you want and what's important for you, and then start in that field. If you can do something that you don't like and you think it's boring, and you can become successful or not. But it's easy to waste a lot of time going that way. But if you find something you really like and start there, you're never gonna lose, you know, because you've already won, because you're doing what you want either way.
Yeah, you can do it for free.
You do it for free, you learn, and eventually you're gonna start getting paid for it. So yeah, I think from all my wisdom I've learned so far, that's what I would maybe tell myself, my younger self, like don't be in a rush, but be obsessed with finding what you really want in life, and then be obsessed with fulfilling that version of you.
That's awesome, and yes, I can really relate to that. Like I started pretty late, you know. I started my first coaching business maybe when I was like 24 years old. Before that, I completely didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do with my life. But yeah, like fitness and training was one thing that I was really like kind of passionate about. I could go to the gym every single day, you know, train for free. And how did I start? Just bought a course because I wanted some guidance, and from there just like learning, you know, invested again in courses, mentors, learning. But yeah, there's a million different ways how to do that. And maybe also good advice is that, yeah, you also said really good that take time, you know, to figure out what you actually want to do. And I think the best way how to figure it out is actually allowing yourself to think, you know. Don't be just scrolling or watching YouTube, Netflix all day, every day, you know, because you don't allow yourself to actually think. Take some time off. You know, one of the best ways for me is how I get creative or actually know what to do is like traveling, going to a new place, you know, going with the flow, meeting new people. Like then your brain kind of switches in this like creative mode, and like through traveling I really have found actually myself and understand myself better. You also meet cool people when you travel, you know, when you're out of hometown. Like that's also a huge hack, move out of your hometown, you know. At least that's for me, because the surroundings as well is super important.
For sure.
Yeah. But yes, Sanel, thank you so much, brother. I wish you the best for the apps. I know that you're gonna crush it. And yeah, if you have any questions, I also will put like Sanel's Instagram below, so you can give him a follow. Maybe if you have any questions, I think he wouldn't mind answering them. He's a super cool dude. And yeah, thank you, bro, again. Strong.